What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. Getting into this episode of GH. Listen, I'm actually happy that Carly is in Florida. Like, she has her own little storyline going on. I like it because it's something different. Like, before, we were seeing Carly in damn near everybody else's storyline. Now she's over here to the side with her own little side thing going. And I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's out of the way of everybody else, you know? And I love it. She doesn't have to be in 50 million storylines. You got your own. Good. I'm not surprised Drew showed up in Florida. I am not. I am not surprised that Drew hopped on a plane and took his ass to Jacksonville. I'm not shocked. I'm like, of course. Here he go, humping Carly leg as usual. Like, that's all he's been talking about even when he was back in Port Charles. Carly this. Oh, she's not answering my calls. Can you be any more whipped? You know, just all type of whipped. And you ain't even get the draws yet and you whipped. Like, he's so whipped I could spread him on my sandwich. Like, I'm just saying, like, damn, son. You ain't even get no ass from her yet. And you that just... She got you, you know, leading you by the nose already. And you ain't even get a whiff of that thing. I'm just saying. You know, even Carly was surprised to see him. So, you know, they talking about the Brando situation. And then she brings up why she's in Jacksonville. Like, why she's staying. Because of Virginia and stuff like that. And the whole, you know, trying to keep her gravesite where it is. The problem is, Carly has no legal standing. She hired a lawyer down there and stuff to help her file an injunction. But it's going to be a waste of time because she's not a resident of Jacksonville. So... ain't no judge really gonna pay that no bit of mind. Like, dude, no judge is gonna take this case serious. You don't even live here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no home here, nothing. And this is, I believe, the first time Carly has visited Jacksonville since she originally left Jacksonville many years ago. So yeah, she not gonna win in that way. And Drew pretty much, you know, figured as much. He was like, nah, you need something else. He was like, you forgetting I own a media company. So basically, he wants to use the media to force, you know, that beautician board's hand or whatever about taking the grave sites away, about moving them, which I think is a smart way because, you know, using your media company as leverage and stuff like that, I think is pretty smart. I find it funny how Drew talking about, oh, you know, I own a media company. Don't you mean you and Carly own a media company? Because if I remember correctly, didn't she buy up a whole bunch of shares and that's why she in a little financial pickle that she in now? So I'm pretty sure she still owns those shares because I doubt she sold them because they ain't worth the paper that they're written on. Like, they're worth way less than what she paid. So I doubt she would be selling right about now. So I'm pretty sure she's still a major owner of Aurora. So I could kind of get with this or whatever, you know, Carly and Drew being over here with their little storyline and whatnot. I'm cool with that. You know, like I said, as long as she ain't over here with everybody else, because I think the people of Port Charles needed a break. And for me, I needed a break from her being in everybody else's shit too. So I'm interested to see like what's gonna shake out with this storyline about keeping Virginia's grave where it is. But I'm also surprised that Carly just totally was submissive to what Sonny was saying. You know, like, oh, don't come back to town. It's safer if you stay away. I'm surprised because the Carly I know would have hopped on a damn plane and went back to Port Charles, especially with a killer running around and her kids are out there. Ain't no way she would have just left them there. She wouldn't have gave a damn if Sonny told her, oh, I got 20 bodyguards on them. I got 30 on them. She wouldn't have cared. She would have wanted to been around her kids, you know, be around them to physically see that they're good. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of shocked that she's not making a beeline for the airport right now. That's shocking. So, you know, of course, Drew was going to stay in Jacksonville for a while, help her fight the good fight, and he was going to look for a hotel, but Carly said, nah, you can stay here. I said, of course. And Drew's trying, oh, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Drew, you've been bitching about Carly ever since she left town. Now that you're finally there, now you're talking about, oh, you don't think it's a good idea that you stay in her room? It ain't like y'all sleeping in the same bed. She offered you the couch. And you flew all this way here, so you might as well just make yourself comfortable on that couch, brother, and be quiet. Make yourself comfortable. I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that. I feel so bad for Sasha, though. Like, to go through this. And you know what? I say this a lot that I feel bad for her, but I also got to acknowledge Gladys. You know what I'm saying? Shocking. But I have to acknowledge Gladys because she lost somebody too. You know, Sasha didn't just lose a husband. Gladys lost her son, her only child. You know what I mean? So I know that's hard for her, but she's holding up well considering. She may have not have been the best mother, you know what I'm saying, but at least she, you know, got to spend more time with her son before he unexpectedly died. You know what I mean? She got to be a part of his life again. And he forgave her for the past, you know, for past indiscretions and stuff like that. So that's what's important. But I feel bad because not only did she lose her son, but she doesn't even have the funds to bury him. That's even worse, I think. I feel like that's horrible for any parent to lose their child. But what makes it even more worse is that you can't even afford to put them in the ground. You know, and Gladys just doesn't have the money to bury him. Sasha was going to do it, but of course her credit card got declined because of the guardianship. Brando was in charge of her purchases and stuff like that. And, you know, until they figure that out, she can't make, you know, any purchases like that, you know, especially not major ones. So I thought it was a cool thing of Nina to do. You know, Nina was like, listen, I'll pay for the cost of the funeral. Don't worry about it. I like that. You know what I'm saying? And besides, it ain't nothing to Nina anyway. You know, she got money anyway. So it ain't nothing for her to pay for it. But I thought that was a kind gesture of her. Not only that, but it seems like she's allowing Sasha to even stay at her place too. You know, instead of going home and stuff. So I think that's pretty dope. You know, thank God that, you know, Sasha has Nina in her corner. Because she's going to need all the support that she can get at this point. She's going to need it. So anyway, moving on from that, you know, Sonny, while he was with Sasha and stuff, he got the phone call, you know, and found out about Diane and stuff. So he rushed to the hospital and whatnot. I'm glad him and, you know, Curtis were able to put their differences to the side. And, you know, Curtis, you know, was thanking him and stuff like that for looking out for Marshall. And, you know, Sonny was like, listen, I wasn't just looking out for Marshall. I was looking out for you too because I actually respect you. You know, I'm glad that they finally put that behind them because I felt like Sonny never had really an issue with Curtis. You know, Curtis was the one with the chip on his shoulder against Sonny because Sonny wouldn't help him. And it's just like, I'm glad Curtis finally put that behind him, hopefully, you know, and they could just move forward because it's like you're mad at him for pretty much nothing. Let it go. You know, that little petty shit that you're mad at him about, let that go. Because you got bigger problems on your hands. And the name is Miss Wu. So you might want to focus your attention on that. Not this. Like I'm just saying. That's a bigger problem to focus on. I'm just getting so tired of Curtis. Like the digs that he keeps throwing at Jordan. Like because Jordan popped up on him and Portia and stuff. You know. And she made it clear. Like listen. I can't afford for this stuff to get out into the media. Like when we talk. We got to talk privately. You know, it got to be hush-hush. And Curtis was like, oh, yeah, of course it got to be hush-hush. That's your stock and trade, basically. That's what you're good at, keeping secrets. And I'm just like, Curtis, shut the hell up, please. Please shut up. Because I don't want to keep hearing this every time Jordan come around him. He got to keep throwing little bald-headed digs at her. Because I'm getting tired of his little milk dud self. You know what I'm saying? I like Curtis, but just put the shut to the up. It's like, come on now. I honestly feel like Curtis has not moved on from Jordan. Physically, I feel like he has. Obviously, you know, he's engaged to somebody else. Emotionally, I feel like because he talks like a bitter ex. That's just how he talks. Like every time he comes around her, he thinks the worst of her. You know, he'll try to say something nice, but he got to follow it up with a critique. And it's just like nice, nasty kind of with him. And I just feel like emotionally, he has not moved on from her. You know, because when you physically move on and you emotionally move on from somebody, you're not bringing up the past like that. And he just keeps bringing up, oh, you lied during our marriage. She knows all that. She was there. She knows this. Why do you have to throw it back in her face constantly? Every time you see it, you got to make some smart ass jab at her. And it's so annoying. Like, this is her job. She can't have certain things go out into the media. Him being a former cop should know that. And he does know that. He just wants to be an ass. That's all it is. So her and Portia was talking about the case and stuff like that. And Portia was bringing her up to speed about Diane and how, you know, it was the same poison and stuff like that. But the difference is from this stabbing compared to the other two that this was more precise. Like the killer knew exactly where he was cutting. It wasn't just a random stab. Like, you know how you just walk up on somebody and you just go for anything that you see? This one was more precise. And that's when they figured that the killer is being, you know, trying to perfect their technique pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So the more this goes on, the more they're learning, you know, about how this killer is moving. So basically, it went from amateur hour to the killer trying to step up their game, pretty much. So hopefully Diane pulls through, because this is going from bad to worse right about now. Jordan and her people need to do something, like, you know, do something. But I definitely agree with Curtis on one thing. I do feel like the general public needed to know about this killer being out there, even if it's pointing to the fact that whoever this person is, they're doing this, you know, because of Sonny or whatever. That's the way it's currently looking. Even if that's so, anybody could change up their MO. So I feel like the public do need to know about this, you know, to watch their backs, you know, make sure that they're in groups with people when they go out. You know, if they go out at night, they're, you know, not in dark areas. They're in, you know, good lit places. You know what I'm saying? They got good lighting. You know, cameras somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, they can better protect themselves out there. And I feel like that's what they need. So of course, you know, Portia and Curtis were talking again and stuff like that, and he was pretty much, you know, putting it out there that, oh, Jordan keeps throwing like little shots or whatever, trying to make it seem like me and you are keeping secrets from each other or something like that. And that's when Portia put two and two together, like, and she remembered the conversation that her and Jordan had about Trina's paternity. So she, of course, barged into Jordan's office trying to confront her about it. I'm like, well, then maybe you should tell Curtis the damn truth then. But we all know that's not going to happen, so confronting Jordan is pointless, because what is that going to do for you? Nothing. So it's like, why waste your time? So anyway, moving on from that. You know, I'm sitting here side-eyeing Rory at the moment because Jordan called Rory to look after Diane because she wants to put a cop on Diane's door. I don't know, like, I'm starting to side-eye Rory a little bit, trying to watch his body language and stuff and how he reacts to things to give me a slightest hint or clue that he could be a killer. I'm just saying, I hope it's not him. I hope it's not him. I hope not. But I don't know. Right now, you got to side-eye some people, especially the new people. You got to side-eye. I'm a little irritated with Jocelyn right about now because she don't see a need to tell Cameron about her dumpster diving with Dex. And what pisses me off is that I feel like she's using what Cameron did as an excuse to keep a secret from him. The fact that he kept a secret from her. And it's totally two different things. I'm like, it's not like he was out cheating on you or having dinner with another woman, or it had nothing to do with another woman. He was between a rock and a hard place. You know what I'm saying? And I totally support why he didn't tell Carly about Cameron's plan. About Spencer's plan. They had to play this close to the vest. The less people that knew about the plan, the better. And Jocelyn is a hothead. You know what I'm saying? She would have flew off the handle. All it took was for her to have one argument with Esme, and I'm telling you, she more than likely would have slipped up and said something which would have ruined the plan before it even got started. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know what? I don't think it's cool to lie to your significant other, but if you have good reasons for it, I say, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not condoning it, but Jocelyn has no good reason not to tell Cameron, because if you're not trying to hide anything, why is it such a big deal that you don't tell him, oh, you know, I was looking for Avery's bracelet and Dex offered to help? Why is that a big deal? I feel like she's hiding it because it's clear that she's attracted to Dex. She's attracted to him. The minute she heard, or she put two and two together that Dex was being interrogated, that he's a suspect now, she ran to the PCPD to confront Dante about it and ask, like, what's going on? You know, and demand answers and stuff like that. Why are you doing that for somebody that you barely know and somebody that you're not attracted to? She wants him. It's just that obvious, and I feel bad for Cameron. I hope that Cam and Trina can patch up their relationship, because I know she's still upset with him too, because he kept that secret from her. But like I said, Cameron was between a rock and a hard place. You know, these are two people that he cares about, Spencer and Trina. He cares about both. You know what I mean? And Spencer is family. So it's kind of hard for him not to tell Trina that secret, but he felt like he was doing it for the greater good. And all he can do is apologize. And hopefully, you know, at some point she can move past it and forgive. But Trina pretty much is in her bag right about now. Like I said, they were trying to do a whole double date kind of thing before Rory got called away. But I wouldn't trust Rory with an axe at this moment because we do have a killer running around who we don't know who it is. So I wouldn't trust him with an axe. I'm just saying. Even though Hooks is his thing or whoever this killer is, you're not gonna walk around with no axe around me. I'm just saying. But Trina's pretty much putting it out there like she's happy. She's finally in a happy place. She's happier with Rory than she would have been with Spencer or whatever because she don't have to deal with the drama. She feels like ever since she cut Spencer out, she feels like her life just got happier. I mean, I want to believe her. I do because I like her with Rory. But a part of me keeps feeling like she's saying all of this because she's trying to convince herself. Not only is she trying to convince the people around her, but she's trying to convince herself of this. That's how I feel. Because I feel like her feelings for Spencer are not just going to go away just like that. You know what I mean? Feelings don't just go away that fast. So I definitely feel like she's putting on airs at this point. So anyway, moving on from that. So Dante was interrogating Dex and, asking him about what happened and stuff. And Dex was going over what happened. Dante was not buying none of what he was saying. Dante was suspicious as shit. Jordan is suspicious of him. Mac is suspicious of him because it's just not adding up. You know what I'm saying? He's been at 3 of the attacks so far. He's been there. I don't believe that this is Dex doing this. I don't. I feel like he's a total red herring because I feel like him doing this would be too easy at this point. So I feel like at this point, the killer or whoever this killer is trying to set Dex up. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're trying to set him up. I don't know. Or maybe it's just wrong place, wrong time. But I totally get why Dante is suspicious because Sonny told him, stay here and lock the place up after Diane leaves. He was right outside. He didn't go anywhere. He was literally right outside the garage. So, to my knowledge, there's only one way in and one way out of that garage. I didn't see any other entrances or exits out of that garage. Anywhere a killer could sneak into. You know what I mean? Because every time we see somebody enter the garage, they usually do it through that one entrance. So, if you're outside, how the hell do you not see anything or hear anything? Because he told Dante, I didn't see anything. But you're right outside. Unless you're dealing with the Phantom Killer, how did a killer get in without you seeing or hearing? You didn't see a shadow. You didn't hear footsteps. You didn't hear rumblings. You heard nothing. A window being open. A window being cracked. Nothing. You saw nothing. You heard nothing. That I could totally understand why Dante is suspicious. It doesn't add up. How? You know what I'm saying? It's night. There's nobody else around. How do you not hear anything? If I'm standing outside somewhere, I would have heard some type of footstep. I would have heard a bottle moving, something rattle. I would have heard something. You know what I'm saying? You would have seen something. Come on, a shadowy figure, something. So that's what's not making sense to me. And so Sonny came to the station and stuff like that. And he walked in there, Dex was pleading his case and asking Sonny, oh, you believe me? Do you believe me? Before Sonny could even answer, Jordan comes up in there. And Sonny was like, is he under arrest? And when Jordan didn't say anything, Sonny was like, all right, let's go. Because she didn't really say nothing, so he took that as, okay, so you're not arresting him, so he's free to go. Let's go. And like I said, Jordan is suspicious of him, and Jordan pretty much told Dante, yeah, we need to look more into him. We need to dig deeper on this, find out more about this guy. Because even Dante was asking Sonny, how well does he know Dex, So they get into the car, Sonny and Dex, and Sonny pretty much was acting all creepy weird with him. He was like, okay. He was like, listen, we're going to take a little detour real quick. We're going to make a little stop. My guess is Sonny is going to find a way to figure out. He's going to find a way to get Dex to be honest. My guess is he's going to try to torture him. I feel like Sonny going to try to torture him to see how much pain and stuff he could take to see if he'll admit if he's the killer or not. You know what I mean? And if he could withstand a whole bunch of pain, like a beating or something like that, then maybe he is telling the truth. Because your life is pretty much going to be on the line. So I think Sonny's going to go that route. I could definitely see Sonny going that way with it. So anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought about this episode. And I will see you all later. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.